Are you tired of people destroying your lands? Well, today we're going to discuss just how to stop it. So without further ado, happy sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Welcome back, folks, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for dropping by and your ongoing support. My name is Patrick, host of the EDH Brutality YouTube page, in which I upload Magic the Gathering content and analysis every Sunday. Before we jump right into today's video, a quick and special thanks to patrons like you for making videos like this possible. Now today we have quite the video ahead of us, in which we discuss cards that prevent land destruction from ever happening on our side of the table. And no, I am not talking about a simple counterspell, because frankly, that's a little boring. However, yes, land destruction can also be stopped if you just run enough counterspells. But of course, who really wants to do that? Am I right? Okay, I think I'm the only one on this one. So to start things off, we have Terra Eternal, which is a 2 generic and 1 white mana enchantment spell that reads, all lands are indestructible, which honestly is quite the boring effect. However, it is a good one for just 3 mana, especially if your playgroup relies on land destruction for their wins. Being an enchantment, of course, makes this much more difficult to remove, but it does come with the downside of being unable to target your opponent's lands with specific kill spells if they have a specific piece running rampant. Next up, we have a similar ability on the card Sheltering Prayers, which is a 1 white mana enchantment spell reading. Basic lands that each player controls can't be the targets of spells or abilities as long as that player controls 3 or fewer lands. Now, this coming in at 1 mana does seem like a pretty decent effect. However, on further inspection, we realize that this card is only good for targeted land destruction spells, and they're only basic lands. So I guess it's good to a degree, but if you're within a meta that wipes all lands at once, well then you better look elsewhere. Up next for land destruction prevention, we have Pyramids, a 6 generic artifact spell from Arabian Nights reading. Pay 2 mana at instant speed, destroy target or attached to a land, or the next time target land would be destroyed this turn, remove all damage marked on it instead. Now you're probably thinking, well, you know, there's no damage if you're destroying a land. And that's the whole point. Because this card, in fact, has a replacement effect. Instead of the land getting destroyed, we remove damage. But there is no damage, so nothing will happen. Making this a pretty neat spell that you can reuse. Of course, you better have the mana to do so. Now, remember at the beginning of the video how I mentioned counter spells? Well, there is one within today's video. And that happens to be none other than Teferi's Response, which is an instant speed spell for 1 generic and 1 blue mana stating, counter target spell or ability an opponent controls that targets a land you control. If a permanent's ability is countered this way, destroy that permanent. Draw 2 cards. And even though this is a counter spell, the reason why I am including this here is because it correctly corresponds with land destruction. Not to mention, if it is a permanent, you can get it off the board so you no longer have to worry about it, as well as the fact that it is a cantrip to refill your hand. It's a pretty unique card, but under the right circumstances, quite strong. Now, all of these are great and all, but what happens if our lands do get destroyed? What can we do to get them back? Or just play the game still? Well, quite possibly one of our weakest effects, however it is good due to how passive it is a Flagstones of Trokair, which is a legendary land that can tap for 1 white mana reading. When Flagstones of Trokair is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Meaning if someone wipes the board, and this is out on the field, well guess what? You're gonna have 1 land come into play, putting you ahead of the rest of the table. Next up, we have a slew of spells, all do similar things, but will just mess up the land destruction player. For example, we have Second Sunrise, which returns to play almost anything put into the graveyard at end of turn. Face Reward, that is a bit more versatile in what it brings back. Cosmic Intervention, which is a key piece if used properly on the stack, or even a Planar Birth, which only selects lands from graveyards, however this time at sorcery speed. The beauty of Planar Birth, however, is that it does not care about when the lands are put into the graveyard, it just cares that there are lands within the graveyard. Meaning you can use various other strategies even to slot this card within your deck, even if land destruction is not a key component within your pods. I mean, heck, you can even use this in a self-mill deck to outramp your opponents. Just gotta think a little bit. And last but not least, our final card of the day to shut down any and all land destruction strategies happens to be Sacred Ground, which is a 1 generic and 1 white mana enchantment spell reading. Whenever an effect controlled by an opponent puts a land into your graveyard from play, put that land into play, which is such a strong effect. Because of course, if they mass land destruction, the person casting it is going to lose their lands as well as your 2 other opponents. And guess what? Us? No. We're gonna bring them back, making this quite possibly the strongest card within today's video. Do you like my picks? Let me know down in the comments section below. Land destruction really isn't that hard of a strategy to counter. I hope I was able to shine some light for you all. So as always, if you want to stay tuned for our future videos here on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell down in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. And so that, my name is Patrick, host of EDH Brutality. I thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.